Hey y'all, welcome back to the Body, Mind, Soul podcast series. So today we're going to start talking a bit about some of the current affairs happening nationally and worldwide. If you haven't checked out my podcasts about the body, please do go and check it out. So now, I'm pretty sure that you guys might have heard of the Harvard walkout incident. Now, if you haven't heard of it, you may be wondering, what on earth is it? Well, let's talk about it right here, right now. So let's discuss about what exactly the Harvard walkout was and what triggered it. If you didn't know already, Harvard is a prestigious Ivy League school, which for most people is extremely hard to get into. In recent concerns, there's a war going on between Israel and Palestine, which I'm pretty sure almost all of us know that. But just to confirm, I think it's been going on for a year. I'm not sure. It could have been less, could be more. A year less or more. I got to check it out. So there's a war going on between Israel and Palestine. In Harvard, there were 13 earlier graduates of the year of 2024, which is this year, who were excluded from graduation because they earlier protested in favor of Palestine. Or they were like a pro-Palestinian. It was a pro-Palestinian protest. So because of this graduation exclusion, 1,000 students, a whopping 1,000 students, walked out of a graduation ceremony on May 23rd, 2024, which I think was a Thursday. But because of this graduation exclusion, what exactly was happening in these students' minds? Was it anger? Sadness? Well, let's see how the exclusion fueled their brain to commit the action of walking out of the graduation when they worked so hard to make it this far. Also, let's talk about the action that Harvard did to exclude those 13 students because of the protestations. I want you guys to let me know in the comments below on what you think. So, what did Harvard do? So Harvard decided to exclude these 13 students from the graduation because of the protests on Harvard school property. Apparently, a hall was seized during the protest and a Palestinian flag was propped out of a window. Harvard's board of members all decided to exclude these certain students from the graduation because of the protests on school property. So they kind of did it, I think. I'm not sure why they did it, but most probably it was to kind of reprimand those students' actions for protesting, especially on school property. But I'm not completely sure why that happened. So, did anger contribute to the 1,000 people walkout? It's a huge question here. So, in the science perspective, according to several interviews with some of the students who were involved in the walkout, they did it because they couldn't graduate with their best friend or best friends. Some other students said they were angry with the decision Harvard made to exclude those 13 students. Well, keeping aside this even, can we start thinking about the science behind the emotions like anger, which triggered this event? So when you become angry and have or perform like an aggressive behavior, a small part of the brain called the amygdala gets activated. It's about the size of an almond. It's in the brain. So some neurotransmitters, which includes serotonin and norepinephrine, are released when you are angry. Let's talk more about these two neurotransmitters in detail. So serotonin is the neurotransmitter which makes us happy. But if there is a deficiency of serotonin in the brain, it makes us more aggressive. I've talked more about serotonin in a previous video, whose link is in the description. Go and check it out, and please like the video. Now, norepinephrine is the neurotransmitter which targets areas like the frontal lobe because it manages attention, like attention in the response to fear and anger. So, again, norepinephrine is a neurotransmitter which is responsible for the fear or anger emotion. So because of the exclusion, the norepinephrine might have been released in the brain of those students, making them walk out of the ceremony. Not just norepinephrine, serotonin would have also been released. But how exactly does norepinephrine work? So norepinephrine is released into the bloodstream after stimulus, and then using its binders, it binds to receptor proteins in places like the heart, eyes, frontal lobe, and adrenal glands. Well, why does it bind to these certain places, you ask? Well, let's see. The heart, whenever you get scared or you become angry, your heartbeat starts to speed up, and I think your blood pressure starts to increase. Now, this is because of the serotonin and norepinephrine released. It's kind of like a fight or flight response. And then the heart is really required because it needs you to pump blood to keep you going. And then the eyes, in this case, the eyes is what you need to be focused and try to look out if something's happening. Like if there's like a bad guy in somewhere and you're trying to escape or you're trying to fight back, your eyes are really important. In the frontal lobe, that it binds to the frontal lobe because of the attention. So the frontal lobe manages a lot of attention, and especially it manages the attention in response to fear and anger, like the flight or fight. And then why the adrenal gland? The adrenal gland is where most of the fight or flight happens. It releases a hormone called adrenaline, which stimulates you to be a fight or flight type of person, to run or to fight back. It increases your blood pressure. It relaxes tensed muscles. So that's why it binds to those certain areas. So overall, the Harvard walkout event was fueled by a bunch of things, from anger to sadness to revenge. This anger was caused in the brain from neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Let me know what you think about Harvard's decision to exclude those 13 students. And also, let me know what you think about both the 13 students' actions and the 1,000-student walkout. Was it good or not? What do you think? Please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.